straight people of Reddit, what's the gayest thing you've done? I was in basic training. The showers in basic were just this square room with shower heads all around the outside, and a small 4FT opening on the end to go in and out. Well, in basic training, they tend to hurry you up a little bit whenever you do anything. In a rush to get out, I side shuffled face to face with this other guy that was coming in through that opening. Somehow, our dongs contacted damn near at the base, and slid alongside each other, like a cool handshake or something. We looked into each other's eyes, and he said we will never speak of this, and I said yep. Best friend is gay. He's a couple years older than me, so he has been going to bars for a while before I turned 21. He had a gay bar that he loved and would always talk about the new friends he made there, and since he was from the deep south, and kinda newly out, he just felt like he finally had people that got him. Anyway, the day I turned 21, instead of going to some club or something, I went to his gay bar, watched a drag show, and my buddy bought me some shoot where a super ripped bartender put his legs around me and gave me a shot poured from a shot glass with his mouth about 2 inches from mine. It was honestly fun as shoot, and I'm a very secure dude, so it was all in fun. I'll even admit, it was kind of fun to be hit on like I was some sort of super stud. When I was in the military, my good friend moved into my apartment with my ex-wife and me for about 6 months. We got drunk one night and pissed into the same toilet at the same time. With the door open, we got some good laughs out of my ex. I'd like to think that's why we did it, but mostly, I think it was a measuring contest. Accidentally kissed my friend at a Halloween party. We were all up in each other's face for a mock aggressive stare down, so I made the kissy face to be funny. We were closer together than I thought. He said I was a good kisser. When I was a teenager, I was pretty flexible and tried sucking my own dong. I was able to touch it with my tongue the first time I tried. I kept trying. Ultimately, I was able to get about an inch in my mouth, which was enough to give myself a good enough BJ to So, I guess you could say I've sucked enough dong to know I don't really like sucking dong. Tried to crank it to gay PM just to check. Didn't work, but I didn't know about incognito or clearing history, so that was a fun talk with my parents. Young me was an idiot. Held my bro's dong for him so he could piss. He had an arm in a sling and had managed to throw his other shoulder out drunk as frick in Vegas. This was in the early days of my college career when I'd go see my friends at another college. After partying during the day night, 4 of us would pile into a single double bed and spoon. A few times one of us would call out spoon change to signal it was time for us all to turn over and face the opposite direction. On the bells at New Year's this year, I kissed my other straight dude friend. Everyone else there was a couple and we decided to show them up by being more passionate. We were very drunk. I didn't remember it until 2 weeks after. Good times. Was 12 years old or so at my friend Ty's house. He was maybe 10. Offered me $20 to make X with our whiners. Needless to say, later that day I bought myself 2 12-packs of soda and some bags of chips. My best friend was sad. His boyfriend of a number of years cheated on him, and so my friend dumped him. He was most upset. He had booked a trip for a bear/cub retreat in northern CA. It had been a year or so since we had actually seen each other, so I suggested he go and I would come up and we could spend some time together and go wine tasting. And that's what happened. But the night I showed up was the bear/cub ball, so I was his date. We grew up together. It was strictly platonic. He's more my brother, but I learned that night I'm considered a bear. We came in second place in the ball. So much back hair. Rip will drain. We laugh about it still and I love him very much. He met another man that weekend and they celebrated their 5th anniversary last Pi Day. Had to hold my buddy's hand while the doctor played hand puppet with his prostate. I had a sleepover at my friend's house when I was 13, and we laid out some blankets and fell asleep in his living room. I woke up first to him spooning me, and I didn't move at all because I wanted to avoid any awkward moment in our friendship by having us both know of that cuddle moment. So I lay there as still as I could for maybe 30 minutes until he woke up and quickly, but carefully got off of me. I then got up 10 minutes later, and that moment now doesn't exist in our friendship. Slapped my friend's ass and then kicked it after he stole my strepsils, because his voice sounded horrible during a residential school trip. In the night he slapped my ass again, so I slapped it back. It ended up being a fight until like 12 in the night. All other 6 kids who was watching joined in the fight. That meant everyone was slapping each other's ass. Was in the boys' room. Me and my best bud, at the time, accidentally interlocked our ass cheeks in bed together. Well, I had a comfortably, but not publicly out gay kid convince me that the best way to practice having Shreks with a girl, we were 13 at the time, was to practice humping each other. I had zero idea that was an issue, and we dry humped for an hour or so. Only Swedish people know what happened in the pillow room. Damn, I was expecting to find a bunch of weird shit, but a lot of this are surprisingly wholesome. I watched an episode of Glee once. I also like to dildo my ass, but I led with the strong argument. Me and my friends one night got really drunk and started streaking around where we live. Very small area. Got so mad lad we started handshaking each other's dongs. How do you do? We would say. Love the lads with all my heart. Shared a pillow and sleeping bag with another guy. I'm 6 feet 3, 200 pounds, and he was 6, 180 pounds, so it was a tight squeeze. But it was minus 45 degrees C and we were in a cabin without heat, so it was worth it. Lived with a gay guy for a couple years in college who seemingly befriended me, at the beginning at least, because he hoped I was gay too, then came out to me and still wanted to see if I was interested in sharing an apartment. I was really honored he was open to sharing that part of his life with me and moving in together even after finding out I wasn't also gay. We were great friends, and other than the time I accidentally burned some rice in one of his pots, I replaced it. We had a great living situation. This was in a fairly conservative area and time, so he and our friends were really careful about who to come out to, and our apartment became the place to be for our gay and lesbian friends. Once a month we'd have a big gay weekend so everyone could have fun and feel safe and free in this difficult place for them. We'd have everyone stay in for drinks and snacks and video games, then go to the drag night to dance at the only place anywhere nearby that was accepting and encouraging of LGBTA for one night a month, then come back to the apartment, lay a couple mattresses on the floor of the den, and watch goofy movies or, depending on intoxication levels, the funniest peon we could find. It was awesome. I actually would have done much better, hookup-wise, had I been gay. Alas, but I did fine on the straight side. He and I would help each other since we had opposite target audiences, and I made treasured friendships. Not me, but this happened at the gym yesterday and I am still a bit shocked. So I walk into the locker room to change my shoes and put away my stuff. These 2 guys are sitting talking about their workout. They then fist bump, stand up, face to face, full eye contact, and both pull down their pant and underwear. Now, men locker rooms have plenty of naked men, but I have never in my life seen 2 men make eye contact and go clock to change. French kissed the guy on a drunk dare. Biggest surprise for me was that it just felt like kissing. I know it sounds stupid, but I thought it will somehow feel different with a man, but it didn't really. This experience actually taught me a lot about Shreksuality. My 24M fiancé, 24F, is really into guys kissing each other. She's bisexual and I consider myself straight. However, one night I was drunk enough to kiss a nice gay guy that we were hanging out with, after she playfully said that it would make her really hot. Indeed, when we got home she went really wild on me, and we ended up having probably the best Shreks of my life. No regrets. Kind of a toss-up. It's either liking show tunes and Broadway musicals or the times I had Shreks with the guy. My best friend is gay. He got kicked out of his family when they found out, took his car, money, and threw him out. So, I had an empty room and let him stay with me and get him a job. But, there would be times he would just come to my room while bawling. There were nights when we spooned until he passed out. Nothing ever happened more than that. He just needed to be held and to know he's loved. Somehow I managed to give the world 3 gay sons. One of my gay friends from HS found out and asked, "What the frick, man? You got glitter in your spunk? D. Kissed my buddy, but it was a bet from other friend they would $5 20 each, so we kissed and the money they showed us was fake, so ye. Hooked up with another girl. She puked in my sink, stole my vibrator, and wrote a note in my MAC lipstick in the mirror that said, "Sorry for puking in your sink. No regrets here." Shoved a Sharpie up my ass to see what the big deal is. I wasn't impressed. Well, according to some a-hole kids in my class, I was gay as frick for taking dance when I was a kid. Tap, jazz, contemporary, etc. Joke was on them though, since I spent all my time with girls in tights and leotards who were in incredible shape from dancing while they spent all their time with other guys in locker rooms that smelled like balls. Was on the swim team. Some pretty interesting times in the locker room. I, 18M at the time, was receiving an amazing BJ from my girlfriend, 18F at the time, now wife. We were in her room at her mom's house with all kinds of magazine cutouts on the walls. We didn't really discuss where I was going to but knew she didn't want a shot to the mouth. Lost in the moment and brought to completion, I turned 90 degrees as quickly as possible and fapped on a picture of Josh Hartnett's face. Nothing. I've said no homo before doing anything with other men. A coworker made a pass at my girlfriend at a social event. He said it's a free country and tried to shake hands, so I pretended I was cool and gave him a bro hug, but didn't let go. When he looked at me puzzled, I inched my face close to his and romantically closed my eyes like going in for a kiss. When he pushed me off, he was disgusted and said, "What the frick?" I told him that's exactly how she felt. Stay the frick away from us.